Hi everybody, this is Jen from Cookies, Cupcakes, and Cardio.com. Today I'm going to be making a Halloween cake roll, and it also happens to be part of a three-way Halloween collaboration that I am doing together with Tammy from Yo-Yo Max 12. She's going to be making spider cupcakes, and Beth from Cooking and Crafting, and she's going to be making a giant ghost cookie. We're going to put links at the end of the video to both of those great channels. So I'm going to show you now how to make this Halloween cake roll. What you're going to need to make the cake is 1 cup of granulated sugar, a 1/4 cup of milk, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and I'm going to be coloring the cake. You can color them whatever colors that you want to use, and I'm going to be using Wilton's Leaf Green and Violet, and Americolor's Orange and Very Black. You're going to also need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, 4 eggs, and for the filling we're going to be using cherry pie filling, but you can use any kind of filling that you'd best like. So I have a couple of options here on the counter for ways to decorate the top of the cake roll. What I did was I made some of these skeleton heads and some of these gravestones, and I used a candy mold for that, which was just a chocolate mold. I found it at a Canadian store called Bulk Barn, and I'm sure it's readily available in lots of different cake decorating stores or crafting stores. Super easy to follow the directions. You just have to melt the chocolate, and it's really simple. So I highly recommend trying one of these out. They're pretty cool what you can do with them. If you can't find this, what I found at Target, or probably any store at this time of year, were some creepy bug gummies and like some worms and then some body parts. There's a creepy brain and an ear. Lots of gross stuff that will look awesome on top of the cake. I also took some white chocolate and I piped some little tiny white bones just to put on top of the cake as well. We're going to be using some chocolate cookie crumbs to imitate the dirt. And then if you're making the mold, you're going to need the white chocolate, the dark chocolate, and we're going to be using toothpicks to hold the tombstones in place. The first step for the cake is to take your flour, put it into a larger bowl, and your baking powder and salt, and then we're just going to whisk it together, just like this until it's mixed in, and we're going to set it aside. The next step is to put our eggs into a stand mixer or a hand mixer fitted with a whisk attachment. And I'm going to put the eggs, the sugar, and the lemon juice in here. And before I start beating this, I'm just going to let you know that now you need to start heating your milk so it's nice and hot. I'm going to mix this until the batter here is thick. So now that my batter is fairly thick and my milk is heated up and is quite hot, I'm going to turn my mixer back on, slowly add the milk, and then let it mix again until it's very thick. It'll be about 5 minutes. Now that the batter is nice and thick, what I'm going to do with my flour mixture is add it in about 1/4 of the amount at a time. Just about like that. And then I'm going to fold the mixture in, just gently using my spatula. And it's going to take a while to do this until everything is incorporated into the batter. After I've got everything mixed in, I'm going to divide the batter into 4 bowls because I'm using 4 colors. So however many colors you decide to use, that's how many bowls you're going to need. Now that I have my cake batter divided into 4 different bowls, I'm going to take my die and put some of the coloring into there. That's the orange. And I'll do the black. And some green. Let's take a little bit out of here. Like that. And some purple. So I'm going to mix these all up. And then they'll be nice and bright. And I'll be back after I have them all combined. So now that I have each of the colors mixed into the batter, I have to fill an individual piping bag for each of the different colors. So I'm just going to pour in the green batter, and I'll do the exact same thing with all of the 3 other colors. So I have my baking sheet laid out here, and I have a piece of wax paper, and it's also been sprayed with non-stick spray. You can also use butter or margarine or whatever you want to make sure that the cake is not going to stick to your tray. I'm going to just take a little snip off the end of my bag here And then I'm going to start in the corner, and I'm just going to pipe probably 2 lines each, and I'm going to switch colors. It doesn't matter what order you do it in, however you want to do it. Just set that aside, switching to orange, snip off the end, and the same thing again. So once you have your entire pan filled, what you're going to do is put it into the preheated oven at 375 degrees for 10 minutes. So now, right when my cake is still hot out of the oven, what I'm going to do is take a piece of parchment paper, put it on top of the pan, and then I'm going to take another cooling tray and put it on top. And making sure both of my hands are in gloves, I'm going to flip the whole thing over, just like that. So I'm going to take everything off, and I'll be back to show you what to do next. So now that the pan is off, I'm going to peel off my wax paper that I had against the pan, between the pan and the cake. And I'm still doing this while it's all warm. So I'm peeling this off. I'm going to be gentle at this point. And then, using the parchment underneath, I'm just going to start to roll it. Just like this, tucking in that end, and just keeping and rolling it up together like this. This is how the cake is going to cool in this rolled position, and then we'll unroll it to fill it with the cherry pie filling. So you're going to leave it like this until it is completely cool. So once the cake has cooled while rolled up, you just want to unroll it, just gently pulling it away from the parchment paper. Like that. And then we're going to take our cherry pie filling, and I'm just going to spoon some of it into the middle and spread it around. So I'll just do that, and then I'll be back to show you how to roll the cake back up. So once we have the filling inside, what we're going to do is roll the cake back up again, but this time without the parchment paper. And because it cooled rounded up like that, it's probably going to be roll back up quite easily. So I'm just rolling it gently, and then I'm going to grab it carefully and place it onto my plate, and we'll get started decorating coming up next. So the first thing I want to do before I start decorating is I need to put a toothpick onto the back of the tombstones so that they'll stick into the cake and not go anywhere. So I'm just dipping my toothpick in the chocolate, and I'm going to let them dry, just sitting here, so they're hardened and stuck to there. So that's the first step. And then, using some of your melted chocolate in your piping bag, I'm just going to take a little nip off the end there, and I'm going to put my tombstone here. So I want to have some space for one of the skeleton skulls to go. Put it just like that. And I want my other tombstone in this area. So same thing here. And then I'm going to want some ground. So I'm going to put the dirt around the skeleton's head here. Just sprinkle it on like that. You can put this stuff anywhere you want, and as much as you want or as little as you want. So then, also to get the bones on, just a little bit of chocolate, and put a couple of bones on there. just like that, and you can have them wherever you want throughout your cake. Decorating it up, making it really spooky. And because we've got some of that cherry filling coming out, I think that's awesome. I'm just going to put a little bit of chocolate down there too, to put some more dirt and some more bones. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more time for my tombstones to harden. And then the last thing I'll do is stick them on. So the chocolate has hardened to the back of the tombstones. So I'm just going to take them and just press them gently into the cake behind the skeleton heads. And then this version using the candy molds is complete. So I'm going to show you how to do another version using the gummies. So I have another cake roll here and my gummies ready to go. So I'm going to start out here. And again, I'm using my chocolate and I'm going to build some ground space. And I'm going to put on some of my cookie crumbs here. And then choosing any sort of body part or creepy crawly that we got here. These ears are absolutely disgusting, so I gotta go with one of those first. And then let's go up to the orange part here. And a little bit of chocolate there. And some more dirt. Push that around, spread it around like that. Now let's see, how about a worm? Worm crawling out of the ground and maybe, I'm not sure what that is, an ant of some sort. This would be a great thing to do with kids. I bet they would have such a good time making this one. So I'm going to put some more chocolate. This end here. And some more dirt. Because you can put anything anywhere, it'd be so much fun. And this lovely eyeball. And let's go with, oh, a brain. The brain has got to be with the eyeball here. And then going down to the ground in front, let's do a little worm garden down here. Kids love that worms and dirt dessert. I'm sure they'll love this one. So lots of dirt and a couple of worms crawling out from behind the log there. And there we go. So you can decorate this one any way you want to with any sort of creepy crawlies or body part bits that you can find. So here is our finished Halloween cake roll, everybody. I just want you to get in really close right here where you can see the bone. There's some little detail in there I want to show you. Sorry everybody, I had to do it. Happy Halloween. Remember to check out Beth's Cookie Ghost over on Cooking and Crafting and head over to Tammy to see her spider cupcake at Yo-Yo Max 12. Thanks everybody for watching and we'll see you again next time.